Noah was a quiet hunter who lived near the edge of a wide forest. He spent most of his days walking through trees, listening to birds, and following animal tracks. He did not enjoy crowds or noise. Nature made more sense to him than people. His small wooden cabin stood alone near the hills, far from towns and roads. One early morning, Noah woke before sunrise. The air was cold and heavy, and the wind moved slowly through the trees. He prepared his bag, checked his tools, and stepped outside. The ground was damp, and fresh marks showed that animals had passed during the night. Noah followed the tracks carefully, moving deeper into land he rarely explored. As the sun rose higher, the forest began to thin. Trees became shorter, and rocks covered the ground. Noah noticed that the tracks led toward the high cliffs beyond the hills. He stopped for a moment. The cliffs were known to be dangerous. The ground there often cracked, and strong winds pushed without warning. Noah usually avoided that area. But something felt strange. The tracks were fresh, and a low sound drifted through the air. It was not an animal sound. It was deep and metal like a slow breath. Curiosity pulled Noah forward. He adjusted his coat and continued walking. The wind grew stronger as he climbed higher. His boots scraped against stone, and loose dirt slid down the slope. When he reached the top ridge, Noah lifted his head and froze. In front of him was something that did not belong to this place. A massive cruise ship hung off the edge of the cliff. The ship was huge, taller than any building Noah had ever seen. The front of it floated over empty space, while the back rested on cracked rock. The white paint was faded and covered with rust streaks. Broken windows lined the sides, and long shadows fell across the metal surface. Noah's heart pounded. He stood still, unable to understand what he was seeing. Cruise ships belonged in the ocean, filled with people, music, and lights. The sea was far away, hidden beyond miles of land. There was no road wide enough to bring a ship here. There was no logical reason for it to exist on a cliff. A long metal ramp extended from the ship to the ground. It looked bent but stable. The wind made it creak softly. Noah swallowed and took a slow step forward. His mind warned him to turn back, but his feet moved on their own. He placed one foot on the ramp. It held his weight. He took another step, then another, until he stood at the entrance of the ship. The doors were open. No guards. No signs. No sound except the wind. Inside, the air felt colder. The hall was wide and dim, lit only by sunlight leaking through broken windows. Chairs lay scattered across the floor. Tables were set with plates and cups. Some food had dried and hardened, untouched for a long time. It looked as if people had been there moments ago and then vanished. Noah walked slowly, careful with each step. His footsteps echoed loudly. He passed a dining hall, then a lounge filled with empty couches. A large glass wall showed the sky outside instead of the ocean. The sight made his stomach tighten. He reached a hallway lined with doors. Names and numbers were printed neatly on small signs. Noah opened one door. Inside was a clean room. A bed was neatly made. Clothes hung in the closet. A small bag sat on the chair, still closed. No dust covered the surfaces. No signs of decay. Everything looked paused. Noah backed out of the room and closed the door. His breathing grew heavier. He felt like he was walking through a frozen moment in time. As he moved deeper into the ship, he noticed something unusual. The lights were off, yet small lamps glowed faintly along the walls. They flickered but did not shut down. He followed the glow until he reached a large open area. This space looked like a control center. Screens covered the walls. Buttons and panels filled the room. All the screens showed the same image. A calm blue ocean under a clear sky. But the ship was not near the ocean. Noah stepped closer. The screens did not change. He reached out and touched one. It felt warm. The image rippled slightly, like water disturbed by a stone. He pulled his hand back quickly. Then he heard it. Ticking. It was soft but steady. Noah turned his head slowly. Clocks hung on the walls. Small clocks. Large clocks. Digital and round. Every one of them showed the same time. They were all stopped. Yet they continued to tick. The sound filled the room. Tick, tick, tick. Noah's chest tightened. He had never felt fear like this before. It was not the fear of an animal or a storm. It was the fear of something unknown and watching. He turned away from the clocks and noticed something else. A large book lay open on a desk. Pages were filled with writing. The words were neat and clear. The first line made his blood run cold. If you are reading this, you are already part of it. Noah stepped back. His hands trembled. He wanted to leave. He wanted to run back to the forest and forget this place ever existed. But deep inside, he knew one thing. The ship was not empty. And whatever brought it here was not finished yet. Noah stood still for a long moment after reading the first line in the book. His eyes moved slowly over the page, but his mind struggled to understand the meaning. The words were written neatly, as if someone had taken great care. The ink looked fresh, not faded or old. He looked around the control room again. The ticking clocks continued their steady sound. The screens still showed the calm ocean. Nothing else moved. The silence between the ticks felt heavy. Noah closed the book carefully and placed it back on the desk. He told himself to stay calm. Panic would not help. He had survived storms, wild animals, and long winters alone. This was different, but he needed to think clearly. He decided to explore more of the ship. If someone was still here, he needed to know. If no one was here, he needed to understand why everything looked untouched. Noah left the control room and walked down a long corridor. The floor was clean. The walls were smooth and painted in soft colors. He passed signs that pointed toward different areas of the ship. Pool, theater, medical room, crew quarters. The word medical caught his attention. If something had gone wrong, that room might hold answers. As he walked, he noticed small details. A cup of water on a table that had not spilled. A child's toy placed neatly near a couch. A jacket hanging on a hook. These were signs of life, yet there was no one. He reached the medical room and pushed the door open. Inside, beds were lined up neatly. Curtains were pulled back. Tools were arranged carefully on metal trays. Everything was clean and ready, as if waiting for patients who never came. Noah checked each bed. Empty. No signs of struggle. No damage. Just silence. He turned to leave when he noticed a faint sound. It was not ticking. It was softer. Like breathing. Noah froze. He held his breath and listened. The sound came again, slow and steady. It was coming from behind one of the curtains. His heart raced. He moved slowly and pulled the curtain aside. The bed was empty. The sound stopped. Noah stepped back, his skin cold with fear. He knew he had heard something. He was not imagining it. He backed out of the medical room and returned to the hallway. The lights flickered slightly as he walked. The ship made a low groaning sound, like metal adjusting to weight. He glanced toward the windows and saw the cliff far below. The ship was still hanging in the same position. Noah wondered how long it had been here. Hours. Days. Longer. He continued toward the crew quarters. If anyone knew what happened, it would be the people who worked on the ship. The crew area felt different from the rest of the ship. The walls were simpler. The rooms were smaller. Personal items filled the space. Photos. Notes. Shoes placed by doors. Noah opened one room. Inside, a small desk held a notebook. He picked it up and opened it. The writing was rushed and uneven. Something is wrong with the time system. Noah read further. The clocks stopped during the storm. The ocean disappeared. The captain says we are not moving, but the screens say otherwise. People feel tired all the time. Some say they hear voices at night. Noah swallowed hard. He turned the page. Today the sky changed. We are not at sea anymore. I saw land where there should be water. The ship should not be here. Another page. People are vanishing. They leave their rooms and do not come back. No signs. No sounds. Just gone. Noah closed the notebook slowly. His hands shook. This ship was not abandoned by choice. Something had taken the people. A sudden loud sound echoed through the hallway. A deep metallic bang. Noah jumped and turned around. The sound came from above. Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Real. Noah's pulse raced. He moved quietly, pressing himself against the wall. The footsteps grew closer. Each step echoed clearly through the ship. A shadow appeared at the end of the hallway. Noah held his breath. A figure stepped into the light. It was a man. He wore a crew uniform. His clothes were clean, but his face looked pale and tired. His eyes were open wide, as if he had not slept in days. The man stopped when he saw Noah. They stared at each other in silence. "You are real," the man said softly. Noah nodded. "So are you." The man took a step forward, then another. His movements were slow and careful. "My name is Leo," he said. "I thought I was the last one." Noah felt a mix of relief and fear. "What happened here?" he asked. Leo looked around nervously. "We should not talk here," he said. "The ship listens." Noah frowned. "The ship listens." Leo nodded. "Time broke. Space broke. This place is not where it should be. And it does not want us to leave." A low hum filled the air. The lights dimmed for a moment, then returned. Leo grabbed Noah's arm. "It knows you are here now," he said. "You read the book, did you not?" Noah felt his stomach drop. "Yes," he answered. Leo's face grew serious. "Then you are part of it now." The ticking sound grew louder, echoing through the halls. Somewhere deep inside the ship, something shifted, and it was waking up. Noah followed Leo quickly through the narrow hallway. The ticking sound followed them like a slow heartbeat. The lights above flickered, as if the ship was breathing. Leo did not look back. His grip on Noah's arm was tight. They reached a small storage room and Leo pushed Noah inside. He closed the door carefully and leaned against it. For a moment neither of them spoke. The ticking became softer, but it did not stop. Noah finally broke the silence. "What is this place really?" Leo wiped his face with his sleeve. "This ship is not fully here anymore. It exists between moments. Between places. That is why it did not fall from the cliff." Noah tried to understand. Who did this? Leo shook his head. No one planned it. It started with a system test. The ship had a new navigation system that used time signals to stay perfectly on course. During a storm the system failed. Time stopped behaving normally. Noah remembered the clocks. That is why they stopped. "Yes," Leo said. But stopping was not the worst part. Time began looping in small pieces. Rooms repeat moments. Sounds repeat. People repeat thoughts until they fade. Noah felt cold. Fade how? Leo looked down. They forget they exist. Noah thought about the empty rooms. The untouched meals. Where did everyone go? "They became part of the ship," Leo said softly. "Their memories power it now." A sudden vibration ran through the floor. The walls shook slightly. Noah steadied himself. "It knows we are hiding," Leo said. "The ship wants balance. When someone new enters, someone must take their place." Noah's chest tightened. "Take their place how?" Leo met his eyes. "By staying forever." Noah stepped back. "No. There must be a way out." "There is," Leo said. "But it costs something." Leo opened a small metal box from a shelf. Inside was a strange device. It looked like a compass, but the needle spun wildly. "This is a time anchor," Leo said. "It can lock one moment and release the rest." Noah frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means one person must stay behind to hold the anchor," Leo said. "The other can leave." The ticking grew louder again. The door handle moved slightly. "We need to move," Leo said. "The engine room is the core. That is where the anchor must be placed." They left the storage room and hurried down another corridor. The ship felt alive now. Pipes hummed. Floors vibrated. Distant echoes filled the air. As they walked, Noah noticed shadows moving along the walls. Shapes formed and faded. Faces almost appeared, then disappeared again. "These are memories," Leo said. "The ship is showing them to distract us." They reached a large staircase leading downward. The air grew warmer. A deep rumbling sound came from below. "The engine room," Leo said. As they descended, Noah felt pressure in his head. His thoughts became slower. Images from his past flashed in his mind. The forest. His cabin. Quiet mornings. "Do not stop," Leo warned. "It uses comfort to trap you." They reached the bottom. The engine room was massive. Huge machines filled the space. Light pulsed from the center like a slow heartbeat. In the middle stood a platform. Symbols glowed faintly on the floor. "This is it," Leo said. "Once the anchor is placed, the ship will choose." Noah looked at Leo. "You have been here longer. You should leave." Leo shook his head. "I am already tied to this place. You are still free." "No," Noah said firmly. "You helped me. We find another way." Before Leo could respond, the platform began to rise. The ticking turned into a loud rhythm. The symbols brightened. A voice filled the room. It was calm and deep. Balance detected. 2 present. 1 required. Noah felt the floor pull at his feet. He struggled to stay upright. "This is the choice," Leo said. "If we do nothing, it will choose for us." The device in Leo's hand glowed. "Noah," Leo said, "you came here by chance. I stayed by mistake. Let this end with me." Leo stepped toward the platform. "No," Noah shouted. He grabbed Leo's arm. "I will not leave you." The voice spoke again. "Decision required." Noah closed his eyes. He thought of the forest, the quiet life he had known. Then he thought of the people on the ship, the vanished crew, their memories trapped forever. An idea formed. "What if," Noah said slowly, "the anchor does not hold a person?" Leo looked at him. "That is not possible." "What if it holds a memory?" Noah said. "Mine." Leo stared at him. "That could destroy you." "No," Noah said. "It could feed the ship without trapping a life." The voice paused. "Alternative detected," it said. The platform shifted. The symbols changed. "Noah," Leo said urgently. "Think carefully." Noah nodded. "I am ready." He stepped onto the platform and placed the device in the center. Light surrounded him. Images flooded his mind. His life. His thoughts. His fears. He focused on one memory. A calm moment in the forest. Peace. "Anchor accepted," the voice said. The light faded. The ticking slowed. Noah collapsed to his knees. Leo rushed forward. "Noah," Leo said. "Are you alive?" Noah looked up slowly. His eyes were clear. "I am here," he said. "But something is different." The ship shook violently. A deep crack echoed through the room. "The balance is broken," the voice said. "Release initiated." The floor tilted. Alarms sounded. Leo helped Noah up. "We need to go now." They ran toward the exit as the ship began to shift. Behind them, the platform shattered. and the ship finally began to fall. The ship shook harder as Noah and Leo ran through the engine room exit. The floor tilted under their feet and metal groaned like it was waking from a long sleep. Lights flashed bright and then dim again. The ticking sound that once filled the ship was now breaking apart into uneven beats. They climbed the stairs as fast as they could. Each step felt heavier than the last. Noah felt strange inside his head. His thoughts were clear, but some memories felt distant, like they belonged to someone else. He knew who he was. He knew where he came from. But the calm feeling he had offered the ship was gone from him now. As they reached the upper level, a strong force pushed them forward. They fell to the floor. The ship leaned sharply toward the cliff edge. Outside the windows, the sky spun slowly. Leo pulled himself up first and helped Noah stand. "The ship is letting go," he said. "But it is angry." A deep sound rolled through the halls. Doors slammed shut and then opened again. Shadows rushed across the walls, faster than before. The memories trapped inside the ship were breaking free. They ran past the dining hall. Chairs slid across the floor. Plates shattered. The ocean screens flickered and changed into flashes of faces. Crew members, passengers, children, all looking confused. Noah stopped. He felt a strong pull in his chest. "They are leaving," he said quietly. "Yes," Leo replied. "But not all of them know where to go." The ship shook again. A loud crack echoed from below. The back of the ship was breaking away from the cliff. Leo pointed toward the exit ramp. "That is our only way out." They rushed forward, but the hallway ahead twisted suddenly. The walls bent inward, forming a narrow passage. The ship spoke again. Its voice was louder now and filled with strain. "Anchor damaged. Memory source unstable." Noah felt pain spread through his head. Images rushed back into him. The forest. The wind through trees. The sound of birds. The quiet life he once had. He dropped to his knees. Leo knelt beside him. "Noah, stay with me." "I can feel it," Noah said. "The ship is pulling the memory back. It wants more." "No," Leo said firmly. "You already gave enough." The shadows gathered closer. Shapes formed into people. They stood silently, watching. Noah looked at them. "They are not angry," he said. "They are lost." He slowly stood and faced the shadows. "You are free now," he said. "You do not need this place anymore." The shadows hesitated. The ship groaned loudly. The voice returned. "Insufficient power. Collapse unavoidable." The walls began to crack. The floor split open behind them. Leo grabbed Noah. "We must go now." They ran again. The passage straightened, and the exit ramp came into view. Wind rushed inside as the outside air pushed against the ship. Just as they reached the ramp, a strong force slammed into Leo and threw him backward. He hit the wall and fell. "Noah!" Leo shouted. "Go!" Noah turned back. The floor beneath Leo was breaking apart. Metal beams bent upward like claws. "I am not leaving you," Noah said. The ship's voice changed. It sounded weaker now. "One remains required." Noah understood. The ship was trying to correct itself again. It needed something to hold on to. Leo struggled to stand but failed. "Noah," he said softly. "This was always my place." Noah shook his head. "You helped me see another way. Let me finish it." He stepped away from the ramp and walked back toward the center of the ship. The shadows parted for him. The air felt heavy but calm. "Noah," Leo called. "You will not come back." Noah looked over his shoulder. "Maybe not," he said. "But the forest will." He placed his hand on the floor. He focused on the land outside. The cliffs. The trees. The wind. The real world that existed beyond the ship. "I give you this place," Noah said. "Not my life." Not my mind. Just the path back. The ship trembled violently. Transfer accepted, the voice said faintly. The walls began to fade. The shadows lifted upward like smoke and vanished. The ship screamed as metal twisted and broke. Leo felt himself sliding toward the ramp. He grabbed the edge and pulled himself onto solid ground. Noah stood alone inside as the ship tilted sharply downward. The cliff edge crumbled. The ship began to fall. But instead of dropping straight down, the ship faded. Piece by piece it became transparent. The sound faded with it. Noah stood still. Then everything went quiet. The ship was gone. The cliff was empty. Leo lay on the ground, breathing hard. The wind blew across the open land. "Noah," he whispered. There was no answer. But the forest below the cliff stirred. Trees swayed gently. Birds lifted into the sky. Something had returned to where it belonged. And somewhere within the land, Noah still existed. The wind moved gently across the empty cliff. Leo remained on the ground for a long time, staring at the space where the ship had been. His body felt heavy, and his mind felt light, as if something deep inside had been lifted away. The ticking sound was gone. The strange pressure in the air was gone. Only the natural sounds of land remained. Slowly, Leo pushed himself up. His legs shook, but they held. He looked around carefully. There was no sign of metal, no broken ramp, no shadow in the sky. It was as if the ship had never existed. But Leo knew it had been real. "Noah," he said softly again. The wind answered by moving through the tall grass. Leo began the long walk down from the cliff. Each step felt like returning to a world he had forgotten. The smell of soil grew stronger. The sound of insects filled the air. Life continued as it always had. When he reached the forest edge, Leo stopped. Something felt different. The trees seemed fuller. The air felt calm in a way he could not explain. It felt protected. He continued walking until he reached a small clearing. In the center stood a wooden cabin. Smoke rose gently from the chimney. Leo froze. The cabin looked simple and strong. It fit the land perfectly, as if it had always been there. Leo walked closer. The door was slightly open. He knocked once. The door opened slowly. Noah stood there. He looked the same and also different. His eyes were calm, deeper than before. His face showed no fear, no confusion, only peace. Leo could not speak. "You made it back," Noah said gently. Leo stepped inside without thinking. The cabin was warm. A small fire burned in the corner. Tools hung neatly on the wall. Everything felt real and solid. "How?" Leo finally asked. "You disappeared." Noah sat on a wooden chair. "I did not disappear," he said. "I changed where I belong." Leo sat across from him. "You should not be alive." Noah smiled softly. "The ship needed memory. I gave it direction instead." Leo frowned. "I do not understand." "The ship was lost," Noah explained. "It existed between places because it had no anchor to reality. People fed it memories without knowing. I gave it something else. I gave it a way home." "To where?" Leo asked. "To nothing," Noah said. "To rest." Leo felt his chest tighten. "And you?" "I became part of the land," Noah said. "Not trapped. Not fading. Just connected." Leo looked around the cabin. "Then what is this place?" "This is where the land placed me," Noah replied. "Where I can stay without harm." Leo shook his head slowly. "You saved all of us." Noah looked at the fire. "I saved what was left." Silence filled the cabin. Outside, birds sang. Leo stood after a moment. "What happens now?" "You live," Noah said. "You go back to the world and tell no one. This place must remain quiet." Leo nodded. And you? Noah looked at the trees through the window. I stay. I listen. I make sure nothing like that ship ever crosses here again. Leo walked to the door. He stopped and turned. Will I ever see you again? Noah smiled. You already are. Leo stepped outside. When he turned back, the cabin was gone. The clearing was empty. Trees stood where the walls had been. But Leo felt no fear. He walked out of the forest and toward distant roads. Each step felt lighter. The strange tiredness he had felt for so long was gone. The ship had taken it with itself. Weeks passed. Leo returned to the sea and found work again. Ships felt normal now. Time moved correctly. Clocks ticked as they should. Sometimes he dreamed of cliffs and forests, but the dreams felt calm. One morning, news spread quietly among sailors. An abandoned cruise ship had been found far out at sea. It drifted without damage. No crew. No passengers. All clocks inside worked perfectly. Authorities searched it, but found nothing strange. They let it drift away again. That same day, deep in the forest near the cliffs, a hunter walked peacefully among the trees. The wind moved with him. The land remembered him. And the balance held.